Welcome to the Excel portion of problem 14, or chapter 14, problem 25. We're going to use the product structure tree that was developed in part A for doing part C. And in part C, even though it only asked for the material requirements plan for F, we're going to have to enter the entire product structure tree. So we go to chapter 14, as you're used to seeing now if you've watched the previous videos, MRP. In this particular case, we have, I count 10 items. So there's, even though some of them are duplicated, so I'll just double count just to make sure. There are indeed 10. And we have the number of periods in this particular case is 8. Periods is the furthest we go out. Now, the first line, first is the stepper. The second is an A, and there's one A for every stepper. Underneath A, we have a D, and there's one D for every A, but we need to indent this. For every A, we also have F, and in this particular case, there are 2 Fs, and F is a child of A. Going through this a little faster than I have in some of the other videos, so if this is a little too fast for you, I suggest you listen to 411, and especially 413 is the best example and the most advanced example. Next, we have B. So we have B. There are 3 Bs, and B is a child of the stepper, so that is correct. Then we have E in this case, and 1 E for B, but we need to indent it. Oops, wrong button. We need to indent it, not increase the usage per parent. And then we have F again, and there are 3, but we need to make sure that it is a child of B, which we'll double check. I always double or triple check before I move on to the next screen, because like I said, it's a real mess to try and change it otherwise. Students have done it, but it gets to be rather messy. So let's just get it right the first time. So then we have a C, and there are 2 C's. C is a direct child of the stepper, so that is correct. Then we have D, and there are 2 D's, but D is not a child of the stepper. D is a child of C, in addition to being a child of A. And again, the software will combine it, combine the D's together, which is rather nice. And then we have an F, and there are 3 F's, and we need to indent so that F is a child of C. So let's just double check based on our product structure tree. We have 1 low-level code 0, which is the norm. We have A as a child of the stepper. Yes. D and F are children of A. B is a child of the stepper, and there's 3. Yep. And E and F are children of B. And C is a child of the stepper, and C has 2 children. So C is the parent for D and F. Actually, I noticed that I typed that wrong. See, this is why I check. This should actually be E. So hadn't, it would have combined it incorrectly. So let me check one more time. This is why I go through it in the same way as I would in the classroom. If I just have it pre-done, then you don't notice little things like this. So I mistyped that because I misread it. So just let me go over one more time. And I believe I have it correct, because I don't feel like redoing all of this, as I'm sure you people don't. So go done. Make this a little larger. Again, you can change the parent here, but if you change the level, it doesn't work. You can go Control-Shift-M to return to the indented bill of materials. That's what students have done. So if you made a little mistake like I did with the E and the F, but I find it works much better if you just have it correct the first time. Now, in this case, this is actually a fairly simple example because the gross requirements in period 8 are 50 for the steppers. So you need 50. You have 20 on hand. So you have 20 on hand. Does all the calculations. And with regards to A, you have 10 on hand. 10 on hand for A. Again, does all the calculations. B has 30 on hand. And again, everything is lot for lot in this particular case. C is, in this particular case, C has 10 on hand. I guess I should change the lead time for B to 2. So E, I know we're just trying to get F, but if I have to be careful. So I don't need to bother with D, to be quite honest with you, because D is never a parent of F, but I'm just entering it again to show you the proper form. So D has a lead time of 1. There's 15 on hand. Again, the lot sizes are assumed to be lot for lot, as it says in the question. E, I'm going to go down to E, has a lead time of 2, and there are 5 on hand. So lead time of 2. Yes, I understand that you do not need to do E, but F has a lead time of 2, and you have 20 on hand. So you will get the correct answer. And if you compare this to the Word document, it matches. So even though we just were asked to do F, we did the complete record, which is good practice. And the way you'd have to do it in industry. I mean, you would, in industry, you just perhaps have to look at the gross requirements for F, if that's what you're either going to make or you're going to order. But all the other records would need to be done too. It's not like you just pick out part of it. That's what you would just look at, but you have to do everything else to be able to get the right answers. You certainly have to do, in this particular case, the stepper, A, and B. You technically don't have to do C because F is not a child of C. But we did the whole problem anyways. And so if on the test it asks you for F, or if it asks you for E, you can give the answers quite quickly, or maybe not so quickly. All right.